thank you very much, Kim, for your introduction and helping whoever's on the people who are on the line understand better, what our goal here is at BMI. We're not only a sales organization, but we want to do our best to make sure our customers are always up to speed with what is the latest greatest in the marketplace, whether it be from Microsoft, whether it be from BMI, or whether it be from our trusted ISVs that are in the community. As most of you probably know, the Microsoft channel is very ISV oriented. We believe in a best of practice. My job here at BMI, I'm the supply chain industry manager, so I'm always looking for solutions to help our customers, within the supply chain, marketplace. And one of the things we want to kick off with some of these seminars, this will be an ongoing series we'll have, and one of the things we want to start with was EDI, because EDI can be a very simple yet sometimes very confusing matter. Because as the title of the seminar says, there are multiple ways to do EDI. So we've invited John Matera from RedTail to help us with a three-part series, on EDI. We invited John not as a salesman, and he is not a salesman. He is a subject matter expert. We believe that there are great minds out there. The more we can expose our customer base to the great minds of the industry, the better relationship we're going to have and the better solution our customers are going to have. So I will be monitoring questions as they come in. We'd like to do questions at the end because this is being recorded. So we'll have a little time for Q&A at the end. We try not to make these, we broke into three parts because sometimes it's hard to absorb a 1-hour webinar, so we've asked John to break into 3 parts. So without further ado, I want to introduce John Matera from RedTail Solutions. They are an ISV in multiple channels, but we only care about the Microsoft channel. And again, he's our subject matter expert for today. So, John, educate us. Help us understand this thing called EDI.
Great, Dave. Thank you very much for that terrific introduction, and welcome. So, what is this thing, electronic data interchange? This definition is really more simply put as the way businesses conduct electronic commerce with each other. It's actually been around since the 70s. It encompasses over 300 types of business transactions. There are specific electronic document formats. And about a third of the U.S. gross domestic product is conducted using EDI. So it's a very important technology. Quiet, behind the scenes, but extremely important. So EDI is really no more nor less than electronic versions of familiar business documents. The sometimes confusing codes here just refer to ordinary, purchase orders, invoices, advanced shipping notices, etc. Now, the reason it's been so widely adopted is that it really enables trade, making both the order to cash and or the procure-to-pay cycles faster and with fewer errors. You can imagine that mistakes in the order processing, incomplete shipments, missed orders, mislabeled cartons, can be very costly. In fact, retailers have things called chargebacks that are a lot like fines that if you make certain errors. So it's important to do it really correctly. Now, we're going to use the term EDI to encompass all the variants of electronic B2B commerce. There are different protocols. You'll hear more alphabet soup like AS2, XML, and so forth. We're bundling them all into the general category of electronic data interchange. Who uses this? It's really suppliers, people that sell the kind of products that you buy at retailers to the retailers or distributors. The customers are typically the retailers or distributors. In fact, most big companies won't do business with their suppliers any other way. And then the third group is the transportation and logistics companies, the 3PLs. They're often tied into both ends of their customer relationships with EDI for really clean integration. then increasingly the suppliers are becoming the customers too. They're buying their own things with procure-to-pay EDI as well. So here are the three ways that EDI can get done. One is web forms. Now, web forms are online browser apps that are either used on the trading partner site or through a web forms aggregator, a company that puts together multiple retailers in one web format. Another way is premise installed software. This is essentially self-managed EDI, where you buy the software capability, install it on your own servers. You use a value-added network for communication with your customers. And I put this in gray because cloud hosting is an option. So really, when we're talking about software, it's really the idea of self-managed. You're going to take responsibility for your instance of EDI, whether it's on your own server or hosted in the cloud somewhere. Third alternative is managed EDI cloud service. So this is relatively new, and this is an outsourcing way to do it. So it utilizes cloud technology, so there isn't software to install, but it gives mid-sized companies the option to outsource certain functions to remain competitive. All-inclusive just means that you don't have to have staff or other things on site to set up and operate EDI with this way of doing it. So let's look at web forms, the first alternative, a little more closely. Again, there's a screen on either the trading partner or the aggregator site where you fill in a form, and it's pretty straightforward. The interface between ERP or other systems and the web form is the keyboard. So whether you're talking about sales order systems, label printing, shipping, and so forth, you log into each of those systems separately and you transfer the data. Then the web form again is connected to the customer. As you scale, you need to add more keyboards. So there's really a people thing here. If your volumes are small, it's a great way to do it. As you scale, you might need to look at one of the other alternatives. EDI software is a good alternative if you have people on your staff, either IT experts, electronic data interchange experts to understand this arcane stuff. And there's a stack of software applications that you need to have available to do this. There are lots of good vendors for this for out there. They normally have pretty good interfaces to the various ERP systems and also to the related systems. It's all there. It's just this is DIY. So if you're comfortable, you have the capability to manage your own connections to trading partners, update the maps as specifications change and so forth. This is a good way to do it. In fact, this is the way very large companies do it. If you're Rubbermaid or Procter & Gamble or something, you have probably a building full of people that do all of this. Now, a managed EDI cloud service has not software, but delivers the technology in the cloud. They typically bundle the services of IT experts in with the service. And so they take responsibility for the mapping, for the testing, and for the launch of the trading relationships. And then there are also interfaces to the related systems and all of the things that you have to do on a day-to-day basis to monitor, correct, backup, and so forth are all included. So this is all wrapped up in a cloud-delivered service. One important thing about this is cloud services typically have enormous capacity to handle transaction volumes, and they can expand that easily. So users who start small can grow without upgrading, changing software. So which one is right? These are the three most critical factors. What are your transaction volumes, both in terms of the sheer number of transactions and the number of trading partners with whom you do business. How important integration is, and the availability and capability of in-house staff. Volumes are important because, you know, for a few transactions a month, the keyboard data entry effort might not really be a big deal. When manual effort rises to become a limitation, that can be manifest as unacceptable error rates, poor customer service, and so the cost of doing it that way can get pretty high. Labor costs, of course, come in big chunks, whole people increments, and they can take a lot of time to scale. So you really, if you're doing things on keyboard, you have to be looking at the future to decide when you're going to have to look at another way to do it. Low volumes typically mean that exchange of information among the ancillary systems is also not a huge issue. When you get to the point where integration is required between your ERP system and your trading partners, that's when the software and cloud ways of doing things are what you need to consider. All EDI providers offer a way to get from a single description of a PO, an ASN, invoice, or whatever, into the trading partner. It's marrying that up with your way of doing business, your part numbers, your ERP systems, your sales order system. That's where this last mile integration is the thing that you really have to take a look at. Importantly, you know, each ERP system has its own specifications, own cross-reference schemes, validations, languages database. For instance, just in the Microsoft arena, Dynamics GP and Dynamics NAV are quite different in the way they handle these things. So you have to look at ERP-specific ways to integrate if you're going to use either the software or the cloud way of doing things. Can you manage this in-house? You have to be able to implement and test trading partner relationships. You have to be able to reconcile when transactions don't happen correctly, fix errors. Maps, which is actually the subject of the next in this series, is the way that your item numbers, fields, and so forth are correlated to those that your customer has. Sometimes the customer, and they change. They say, I want this field to be in this format or in this space on a label and so forth. And you have to have an ability to handle that. If there are chargebacks, can you look into why they happened, how to make sure they won't happen again? Do you have the ability to install and maintain software and so forth? This all pretty much amounts to pure labor cost. EDI experts, if you have them on staff, you know they're very valuable people, and care and feeding of them is really important, and you want to make sure that you take good care of them because they can be hard to replace. So if we look at a summary then of these three ways of doing things, web forms are inexpensive. They can be labor intensive, but you know, if your problem is not a big one, this is pretty much the way to go. They're typically not ERP integrated. There is another gray area, which is a file transfer that you can do between your ERP system and the web form, and there are some third-party companies that offer those. It's something to consider. but make sure you understand how many parties are in the loop and how many throats you have to choke if something goes wrong. These are ideal for companies where low volumes are the case and where integration isn't the most important thing. Software definitely can be integrated very successfully. Every aspect of EDI can be done well with premise software, just like it is for the big consumer products companies. But there is expertise required, and you have to make sure that's accounted for. There are some upfront costs. Normally these are sold on a paid-up license basis, so a lot of your cost is upfront. Software is really great if you have existing expertise. If you already have EDI software installed, it can be fairly tricky to displace that and go to one of the other methods because you have sunk costs for the software, you may have trained staff, and it falls into the if it isn't broken, don't fix it category. But we do have customers that have used our cloud service that formerly used software, so it can happen. Software is great when process integration is important, if you have other installed systems like warehouse management and so forth. If you have relatively few trading partners, the problem of managing EDI with software is smaller, so that can be a good choice for you. The managed EDI cloud service route is an outsourced route, so if you don't have the expertise, you need to buy that as part of the deal. That's a great way to go. It typically includes everything from setup and training to ongoing maintenance and monitoring. This is a good alternative if you're new to EDI. If you've never done it before, it can be daunting to get involved, and something that's a full service option could be a really good thing to explore. If you've outgrown web forms, you have two more choices, and this is one of them. It's something you should consider. It also is great where process integration is critical because the cloud vendors normally have pretty good integration to the related systems. And it's particularly great if you have lots and lots of trading partners, because if you have 50, 60 trading partners, just keeping up with the mapping and update requirements can be really a big chore. So if you can handle that on an outsourced basis, that could be really gives you the opportunity to spend time doing what you're really good at instead of this arcane EDI stuff. We do recommend that you investigate more than one alternative if you're getting into EDI, or if you have some EDI pains and you're looking for another way to handle it. Look at all the alternatives, and you can make your own judgment on what's best for your particular set of circumstances. So that's the three choices for EDI. Dave, I don't know if anybody has identified any questions at this point, but this would be a good time to handle them.
I haven't seen any questions come in yet, but maybe I'll give maybe people a chance to type them in, and maybe I'll make a few comments here. I have had the pleasure of implementing all three of these different types of systems over my career. I was around when EDI started, so I'm giving away my age at that point. I like the trending. I like that none of the solutions have, types of way of solving a single problem have went away. But I like the fact that because EDI has always been this big scary thing, and it's one of the most critical. I mean, we're having a session down at GPUG, it's called Distribution Best Practices, and it's funny. There are some things you can get that are nice to have, and there are some things that are mandatory to have. And typically in today's trading world, EDI is something that is mandatory. So the fact that there are multiple ways to solve a single problem, and they all have their pluses, and quite frankly, they all have their minuses. I want to thank you for helping educate the group that's on the line today that there are options. It doesn't have to be scary, no matter which way you do it. I wanted to throw that in. I'm really excited about the next one about mapping because I'll be honest with you, this is the one that always nails me when we get into deep dive discussions. This whole topic called mapping. So I'm really looking forward to the next one, which is is that next week? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Next week. Yeah. Next Tuesday. So I'm going to maybe give it a second or two for any more questions from our audience, our esteemed audience we have on the phone today, let me make another comment too. We want this series. This is not a one and done series. We want the topics of these series, to be relevant, to our supply chain, prospects out there. So if you have, a specific topic you would like us to bring a subject matter expert on to talk about, whether it could be me, it could be some of our internal consultants, it could be an ISV, please reach out to us. Can you still on the line? Because I just went brain dead. What is the general the user experience? The user experience
Yep.
at internetbmi.com?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
the way of doing it.
Yeah, if you could just, if you have a specific topic within the supply chain realm or really any realm, that you would like to see a future webinar on, please reach out to us. We're here to serve you. We think, we have our ideas with some of the education we want to bring, but we want to make it totally relevant to our customer base. So never feel ashamed to reach out to user experience at internetbmi.com with comments, questions, ideas for future webinars. It's going to be the future of Interdyne. Kim, is our new practice manager for user experience. She's got a lot of tremendous ideas. Kim, as Kim said, she used to be the president of GPUG, so she's had a chance to talk to literally thousands of customers out there, and she's brought Interdyne BMI some new exciting ways to improve communication, between us as your provider and you as our customer. So use that, and I know she monitors it entirely, so feel free to do that. So I still don't see any questions coming in. Our goal is to make these